Good morning and welcome to the Table Scraps podcast.
On today's podcast, Bob and I are catching up after I've been on paternity leave for the last 3 weeks.
I've been holding down the fort, and I have to say I'm very excited that Brad is back.
I'm also glad that I'm back.
We hope you enjoy. You putting your feet on the thing?
On my stool.
Okay, that's a better idea. But like straight like this.
Well, just look at the camera and kind of see. I don't think it makes much of a difference. Well, anyway, thank you for taking some pictures yesterday for Mia's 1-month-old birthday.
Was that yesterday?
Well, today is actually her 1-month birthday, and I feel weird calling it a birthday, but here we are.
Yeah.
1 month. I'm a dad. I'm all in.
Yeah, you have to. You just have to. That's one of those things before you're a dad, you just kind of like quietly make fun of, like really.
Oh, for sure.
Every month.
Not even quietly.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe once you get past 12 months and it becomes a year and then you're like, oh, now it's 13 months, then I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we can cool it on that.
Because Brian was like, oh, we're doing a 5-year-old's birthday party thing. And we're both like, yeah, that's annoying. Like, we'd rather be doing whatever we want to do. And now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I'm not missing my kid's birthday. Like, and I'm inviting all my friends because I want it to be fun.
Yeah. Like 5 years old. Who cares? What even is that? And you're like, your own kid, 2, 3, literally until you're dead, really.
Yeah.
Every birthday matters. Every birthday counts.
Yeah. Well, I was raised on birthdays being very important, and I always like push back on that. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, whatever you got going on, just do it. Now I'm probably gonna be like, all right, Dad, you're right.
I think you're gonna probably learn a lot of things that your dad was right about.
He's so happy. He's like, finally, they're having kids.
That now they'll learn.
Yeah.
Retribution.
Yeah.
How's he doing? The whole grandfatherly responsibilities.
He's so happy.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of just retired. So now he's got 2 grandkids because Nicole's got Len, who's about a year old now. And I mean, he's just beaming. He's happy to see him, happy to just have us around, you know.
Is he retired?
Yeah, he's no longer working.
No shit.
Yeah.
When was that?
Last month.
Wow.
He didn't do like a formal retirement because he's not convinced he's done.
Yeah, he's having a hard time accepting it.
He wants to continue. But like the way it worked out for the end of this year, it made more sense at his business to kind of stop for the remainder of the year. So we'll see what next year brings. But for right now, he is just hanging out with the grandkids.
Good for him, man. He deserves it.
Using his leaf blower.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you just kind of run out of things to do. You're like, I might as well just fire up the leaf blower.
Yeah.
And here we are toward the beginning of our work journey.
Yeah.
A few years in.
The work journey that just had me absent in it for the last month or so.
Yeah, you know.
So thank you.
Yeah, Brad was out on paternity leave.
Okay.
Yeah, I always get that wrong.
I was just going to say leave. I don't know. Is it paternity and maternity?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm saying that pretty confidently. I could still be wrong, but I'm pretty sure paternity is for the father. But yeah, so you were gone for, what was it?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 full weeks of like, I did not look at anything.
Yeah.
And then the 4th week was like, I was back, but going to doctor appointments and stuff quite a bit. Right after this, I'm going to a doctor appointment, so it's not done. I don't think it'll ever be done. Mm-hmm. But I'm getting like 40, 50 hours a weekend now, so it's good.
Nice. Pretty much back to standard.
Yeah.
Maybe with a little bit. Yeah, no sleep. I was going to say maybe a little bit more work-life balance, but it's more like work right now for you.
Yeah. I heard something the other day that was like work-life balance just isn't even real. Like, why do we even use that term? Mm-hmm. And I kind of agree. Like, I don't like the term work-life balance.
I also saw that reel and thought of you when I saw it. Like, yeah, Brad would agree with this.
It's just life.
Yeah. And like, well, I think it has to do with what your work is too. Like if you want work to be part of your life, if you enjoy that, you know, not to harp on that. I know we talk about it a lot, but there doesn't need to be this line in the sand that's drawn between like I'm exiting my work for the day and now I'm entering my regular like real life.
Right.
It all kind of starts to blend together depending on what you're doing.
Yeah, and I feel like that's how it should be. You shouldn't look at work as work. It should be like something that you do, that you provide to the world, that in turn allows you to live your life through money or whatever it is. But we don't really think that way in the US. Like, it's more of like a European type mindset.
Yeah.
At least what I'm kind of figuring out. Never been to Europe. Don't know many people from Europe, but it seems like they got it figured out.
Yeah. Europeans and Mexicans. I feel like the siesta is important there.
I do know some Mexicans. Like, I've been down to Mexico. I've seen that culture, and they just go a lot slower at everything. There's no rush ever. You ever been to a dinner in Mexico?
No, not in Mexico.
With Mexicans?
Yes. I've been to a Mexican dinner.
Where they're just like, the server might check in every couple hours. It's just like the slowest thing.
Yeah, you got chips and salsa. You're good.
Yeah. And then that's just not me.
Yeah.
Like, I just do not operate that way. So it's kind of weird.
I still have, I'm 50% Mexican, so
I know.
I love a good siesta every now and then. I like to relax every now and then, but I am finding more and more that I'm trying to get away from that idea of like, okay, I'm clocking in, I'm clocking out.
Yeah.
Now I'm home. Now I'm not worried about that. I like that it's existing more often throughout my entire day, that I'm thinking about it constantly. It's not like an exhausting feeling doing that. It feels good to just kind of be immersed in it and talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's how it's been for me for a while. So if I can get other people to kind of live that way too, I think it's a more enjoyable way to go about it. And some of the stuff that I think we're going to be talking about later in the podcast on original content that we're making will reflect that and promote that. So it's not just something that I want to do. It's something that I want to promote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's taken me a while. It's not that it's taken me a while to like the job, but it's taken a while for my mind to shift in that direction, which I do take a lot of cues from you on that. I think there is like, you have to do it at your own pace. I know like day one, you would have liked for me to just be like right in it with you. And it's not that I didn't want to be, it's just, you have to like slowly pace yourself into it, where now it's ingrained in my entire life. And now it doesn't feel so weird, like sitting at home working on a script at 8 at night, because I'm just kind of like hanging out and I'm like, I kind of want to work on that right now. It doesn't feel like I'm putting in overtime. It just feels like I'm consistently flowing toward a goal. And that goal is like driving everything that I do.
I'll need to continue to remind myself that you're doing that and you're becoming that type of a person, because I'm so used to you being the opposite of that and thinking like, okay, if he's not here at 9 and he's not leaving at 6, like what's getting done? Because I know it's not getting done outside of that. And now it's shifting. So I have to have some grace with, just calming down.
Yeah. Well, there's like, you had said the other day in a text, you're like, I trust you. Like there was I think that's what it is. It's just like,
yeah. But I've always trusted you. I don't know if I trusted you yourself to get it done or whatever it was. Like the characteristics and the things that you had didn't align for that lifestyle. So a lot had to change in order for it to really work. And I think we're starting to see that now. Would you agree?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's not like it was necessarily easy to get to that point, but it's not. I know that you've always trusted me. I think you've trusted my abilities. Like you've trusted me creatively, but me going home at 5 or something like that, not knowing what I'm doing after those hours, rather than looking at it like, okay, we're a project-based company. We're constantly pushing forward multiple things at the same time. As long as we're delivering on those things, whether it's because I'm working on a script late at night or something like that, the faith is in that, like that I have the same goal as you and that I'm going to work as hard as I need to make sure that it happens. And that comes with time.
Well, and a big test on that was the last 3 weeks where I was out and you were running everything yourself. I mean, you had Sensation, which I primarily do all to yourself. We had 3 or 4 active projects going on that you were handling, communications, doing the shoots, in the edits, all of it. And I didn't see anything that slipped up. Like I talked to all the people, everything was going good. So that's just building more confidence in our work relationship. So thank you for doing all that. You did a great job, but I'm happy to be back.
I'm happy to have you back. It was fun while it lasted, but it was definitely a challenge.
Well, one of those shoots that you went and did while I was out was the Platinum Powerboats shoot down at O'Fallon, Missouri. I'm curious what your takeaway was from their facility, from the people. Like, I want to just talk a little bit about Platinum because I don't think our audience knows who they are, or they're kind of just learning who they are. And they hired us to come on and tell their founder story and what their, next steps are as a business. But how did it go? Like, what did you think of those guys?
I think I had to remind myself how new they are, because everyone that we've worked with, or at least that I've worked with, is established and it's a pretty large company, or maybe they just bought a new facility like with DCB where you're seeing them grow. Going to that facility, like it's so small. It's like a rented out space, but it's what you would expect a new company is going to start with,
Okay.
And it was full of holes, from the front to the back of the warehouse. So the production is happening. It's just, they're so new. So I had to keep reminding myself, oh yeah, they're like in the beginning phases. They've got one hole done so far. And even that is like continuously being tested and improved upon. As far as the guys go, they were great. Scott was great. His team that he's built there. A lot of guys from MTI, which was interesting. One thing that I took away from all of that, or one of the things, was that they're all very excited to like start something new and fresh and focus pretty much only on quality, not quantity at all.
Yeah.
Not even from the standpoint of like how many boats are they going to build a year, but like how much are those boats going to be priced at? Like, one of the questions I asked Scott was, with all of this engineering that you've put in, all this money and R&D that you've put in, would people expect that they're going to pay more for those boats? And he was like, no, I think that's one of the things that we're focused on is not, we're not making a huge margin here. Like, it was a passion project to begin with. I'm not trying to make my living off of this boat brand. I just wanted to make a new boat that excites me and makes me want to go back to racing. So Scott is a racer. The whole thing started with him wanting to build his own race boat, him and Edwin, and they're nowhere near going to be able to have their own boat now because they've got so many that are already sold. Like, they've got too many customer holes at this point. So he's like, yeah, maybe one day we'll get around to making our own like we originally planned. But I think once he got into it, and to give you guys a little bit of a background, they put a ton of money into R&D. So they're just basically creating a new hull from scratch. A lot of what you see in the industry is like splashed molds, or people are taking ideas from other people, and like that's normal. That's not necessarily frowned upon. I think that just is how the industry exists. Mm-hmm. They decided to go back to the drawing board, hire a bunch of engineers, do a bunch of work on the front end to then kind of come up with their own idea, something that would perform a little bit differently on the consumer side, something that's got some features to it that are new that we haven't seen before. They put like a couple of rear loungers on the back of the boat. They have this walkway that's really convenient versus like in the other cats, it's just kind of like steps down the back.
Yeah.
This is like a clear cut path right through. So they had these ideas and they went and they did all of this engineering to like actually test to make sure that they'd be functional. And you can tell that everybody there is just kind of like excited to build a new boat, try something different. They have confidence in the research that they've done on the front end, and now they're getting into like testing on the back end. And Scott was telling me they're just going to keep testing this boat, and they're going to make he's like, we've made, 20, 30 tiny alterations that to the naked eye, you would never notice, but it's making a big difference on the performance side. So, long story short, I enjoyed being there. I enjoyed being on the ground floor of something that's new in the industry. And the team, that their passion and what their mission is with this product is very evident.
It seems like a lot of the boat manufacturers in performance boating started in a similar way. Their founder had wanted a boat for themselves or wanted to just try something new. And then it worked, or it didn't work and they failed, but who are those people? Like the ones that stuck around, the Mystics, the DCBs, the Skaters, MTIs. they all started so small and so innovative, and they had to do something different to kind of crack into the industry. Then they hit a certain point where they're profitable. And the only thing that changes that is building more. And it seems like MTI is at that point where they've got their models. They're going to pump out as many as they can because that's how they're going to make money. And you get the people that were working there that may have been around from the beginning or earlier days where it was more about innovation, and that's their minds. They're not like, hey, I want to optimize production, No, I want to come up with something new and innovative and like get back to what my passion for coming into this was. So you see the turnover of people going from one company to the next, and maybe in 10, 15, 20 years, Platinum Powerboats is having the same thing happen, and there's somebody new coming in and the people are transitioning over.
I asked Scott that. He said they weren't going to do that.
I'm sure everyone has said that.
Do you think, do you see yourself further down the line being focused more on production? He's like, no, I don't think so. But, we'll see. And one thing I did learn is that a lot of those guys that did come from MTI, for example, they were already gone. They weren't poached. They didn't jump from one company directly to the other. They had already left and just were doing their own things.
Okay.
Because I think they felt burnout on that production side when it shifted into quantity and not quality.
Yeah.
And then when this new project started to arise and they started hearing about it, or like Scott had heard about some guys that were recommended to him, he just went and talked to them about it. It wasn't like he pulled them from one to the other.
Yeah.
They were just kind of like, we were taking a break, but we missed it. And then this thing started to happen, and we wanted to be involved because it sounded like, to your point, going back to their roots.
And it's not to say that it's going to happen to Platinum. It hasn't happened to everybody. I think Skater is a good example of a company that doesn't really go for quantity. DCB definitely doesn't, although they have new ownership and they keep getting bigger buildings. So maybe. MTI and Nortec have increased their volume tremendously over the years, and they've taken more of that path. So it'll be interesting to see which direction Platinum goes. I hope that we're able to have a long relationship with them and kind of continue to tell their story as they grow, as we grow too. It'll be kind of like a Sensation type situation in the future, which would be really nice to have like a cat brand with the Center Council brand as the two things that, Scrapyard is diving into.
Yeah, and I do look forward to watching whatever the progress is. Seeing it from the beginning will be interesting because, like I said earlier, just all of the boat brands that I've worked with are so established already.
Right.
This is brand new. So,
but then you look at like Doug Wright with Justin. It's got a good history of building those boats, but then he's brand new to the whole thing. And we come in and we tell that whole transition story through video. But where are they going to go? Is he going to try to ramp up production, or is he going to try to keep it at a certain amount and just innovate,
I like the position that we're in where we have loyalty to the people, first off, it's not like we're buying any of these boats. Let's be honest. There's no brand loyalty because we're not going to be buying a Doug Wright or a Platinum, but we get invested in the people that are running the companies, and we want to see everybody succeed. Let me make that clear. There's no animosity between brands or even like directions brands are going. You hope that they're making the right decisions for the companies, but getting to bounce around and talk to these people and understand what their motives are and then seeing how they play out. I enjoy that we're so invested in the industry through all of these stories that we've told, all these people that we've talked to, and Platinum in particular, and it being new, like I am, I'm excited for Scott, and hopefully it's successful.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see in Key West, right? They're going to take the boat down there, run it around a little bit.
I don't think they're not running it in Key West.
No, they're just taking it down.
Yeah, they still have more testing to do.
Okay.
That's the next step for us, is to go to Wisconsin. I think it's where's the Mercury facility at in Wisconsin?
Fond du Lac.
Yeah. So we need to go see how the testing is going there. That's the next.
You can see how out of touch I am.
That's where we're at.
They're doing the poker run, right?
Yeah. No, I mentioned that to Scott, and he's like, I talked to him. We're like, hey, maybe one of us can come down for a couple days, and he's like, oh no, it's just going to be propped up on a trailer.
Okay.
Not worth going to Key West for that. Which nothing was worth going to Key West for this year. So.
Oh my God. Why don't we just talk about the Key West thing?
Yeah.
Because it's the first time in 5 years that I haven't gone down there, and I'm really not that mad about it. Like, it's so expensive. It's ridiculously expensive. And for all of us to go down for the length that we went down, I mean, last year, I think it was 20 grand, like out of our pocket to just get there to
get there
then
and
work.
stay there. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Super expensive.
But it is like the Super Bowl for performance boating. It's the climax of the year. Everybody's there. It's a great networking opportunity, and the poker run's cool. But I'm not gonna miss it too much this year.
Yeah,
or maybe I will.
I think you might probably get a little bit of FOMO once like posts start rolling out, because it is a good time. I enjoyed going there last year, but I mean, we had the entire episode of Supercat. The 4th episode was filming there for the World Championships, and I mean, shit, we probably almost spent the entire budget on just going there to shoot that. Like, that was less of about a profit and more about finishing the story the right way. Yeah. So like, looking at that and us not having anything locked in that we need to be doing there, yeah, Key West is cool. I enjoyed it, but the amount of money, to your point,
right,
it just didn't make sense. No business case for it this year.
20 grand of expenses.
Yeah,
on a project.
Yeah, for like for
25% of the final product.
Hey, we used the hell out of that Airbnb though. Did all those interviews in there last year?
Yeah. No, we did, and it was great. I mean, it was a good opportunity. I love the product that came out of that. I would do it again.
Mm-hmm. But this year, we'll spend that week at home
with Mia.
I'm okay
being a dad.
Yeah, there you go. You got other things to worry about than Key West.
Yeah. Well, something else I wanted to ask you about was the Rocky Top run, and that video got published. We haven't talked about it on the podcast yet. So how did you think that came out? I mean, you took the lead on that from the very beginning and wrote all the pre-production. You and Christian filmed it. I didn't go. I went to film a different event that weekend. What did you think? I mean, it wasn't your first by any means, but there's not a whole lot where I'm absent out of the projects.
I would say that it wasn't my first, but it was probably from like beginning to end, the first one, where there was really, I even have a hard time saying like a lack of involvement, because you were there to support when needed, to talk about things, to bounce ideas off of. But that was like one of the goals that I think we had for me. Could I take a crew and go down and shoot something somewhere, and from the production stage to the published stage, take care of that? And I think that was probably the first time.
And the pre-production too, right? Yeah. You had to do all that with Matt Rogers. You had to line the helicopter. You did all of it.
Yeah.
So it didn't just start at production.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I wasn't thinking about the stuff that I was doing as I was doing it, but like now that I'm looking back on it, I recognize like it's like Boyne for you, like the way that you have to
takes time.
Yeah, you have to like talk to people and get numbers and like orchestrate things, and you can't just assume things are going to happen. You have to make them happen for you or your team. There was a lot of that, but looking at it from the outside, like if I was going to approach that, it'd be pretty like overwhelming to think about. But then once you're in it, you're just doing it.
Yeah.
You know what you have to get done, so you just do it.
And we have a bit of a template lined up for these types of things, especially the poker runs. Like we know what's going to happen, and we know how we want to film it.
Even the unpredictable stuff, you can kind of start to predict at times.
Well, we went through a whole poker run video where it didn't happen. So
I guess
we still made that video.
Yeah, once you have that, you can be pretty confident that you're going to make something out of whatever it is you're given. But luckily for this event, we were given a lot. The event did happen. It was a 2-day run. The lake was awesome. Like, I'll just say that. The lake itself, and Matt said it several times when we were filming the video, like the event is cool and he likes doing it, and he's motivated by charity, but like come for the lake. And the lake was very solid. But yeah, fast forwarding to publishing, I think the video turned out well. It was a little bit different. They're all a little bit different though. You kind of have to match the style of the client, what their expectations are. And then you put a little bit of yourself in each video too. So, I had fun picking out the music for that video. I know that a lot of there was a single comment, like just cut all the music out. And I'm like, I know there's always going to be one. I just look for it at this point. Like I know somebody's going to say something about that, and I get it. But with that run, you know, it was less about the bigger boats. It was less about the loud engines. It was more about the people and the lake and the vibe and stuff like that. So to me personally, I thought that the music fit it well.
Yeah.
To that one guy on YouTube that said that, like,
you're going to get that no matter what.
You're entitled to your
on
opinion.
Every single video.
I'm looking over here as if he's over here. If he was here, I would say it's okay, you know, to each their own. But I liked the way that it came out. Matt liked the way that it came out. The event overall I thought was successful. Matt is really pushing to grow it like as fast as he can. So I think given where it was the year before that, and then the year before that, it was essentially non-existent. Last year was the first official year. You know, he's making great progress. And he has the lake to help him do it too. The way that it's just sprawling with bars at different ends, the way that he's mapped it out and allowed it to be kind of like a lackadaisical run. I think there's a good and bad with that.
Yeah, do you think that will stay consistent, or do you think he'll make it a little bit more like, let's all go to this place?
I think maybe if he did that each day there was one specific run that everybody did together.
Okay.
So like the first day, it was like from one end of the lake to the other to the first stop for lunch. So everybody ran that together, and then from there you can go do the other stops. There was like 10 total. 5.
That's kind of cool.
5
so it's
were
like you all have
optional.
lunch together, and then you just get to go
You
to
peel out.
whatever bar
Yeah.
you want to go to,
Yeah.
or a cove or something.
Yeah, they're all like marinas and bars. So like there's 10 total, 5 optional, 5 mandatory if you want to like get your cards. So you have the opportunity to go to all 10 and get more cards to help your chances of winning. But then the second day, it's the same stops both days. You just have to fill out your card between the 2 days. The second day was running to a dam to do like a big photo with everybody. So like that was a little bit shorter of a run. So I think maybe on day 2, you could do a little bit more of like an orchestrated thing. Or maybe one day is bar to bar to bar, and then the second day you can go do whatever you want. I'm sure they're thinking of stuff
I'm sure
to make
he
it better. I did like how it went though, you know, like from a helicopter perspective, that first run we got a lot accomplished. It was a little tough after that though, with how sprawling the lake was, going back up and trying to bounce around and find people. We got what we could, but you know, luckily Kyle and the helicopter pilot was super chill, just like anything that we wanted to do. Not chill on the sticks though. He was he was getting real low. But like, you know, if I'm like, hey, can we go see if anybody's over there? He's like, yeah, whatever, let's go. You know, he was just happy to be there. They, I think, sponsored the event and got like a free stay and stuff like that. So it wasn't even, I think, an exchange of cash for that service.
Really? Well, he was selling tour rides too.
He did make
between,
out.
right?
He did make out well on that. Yeah,
Okay.
that helicopter was running until dark. Both
But
days.
that's kind of a cool way to take it. Like,
Oh,
and that's
100%.
another offering to, like, I think if you did that, something like that at Boyne, so many people would do that. Mm-hmm. They'd be like, wait, you're telling me I can get off my boat and then I can hop in this helicopter and go like look at Lake Michigan?
Yeah, it was a great idea. You can go. He would take him up high, and then like we sent Tyler and Brian on the one, and I was like, do me a favor and get like low, like how you do for me when
This is
we're
our
filming.
crew.
Yeah, and like I'm like, I want them to understand what that's like to cruise that low. Just because, you know, they're always looking up at us doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want them to feel that. And so like, I think he did that for most of the tour rides after that. He would come in like swoop and take them down the water. Cause you look up at the chopper all day when you're in the boat.
Right.
So it's cool to like get that other perspective.
Hey, maybe that'll be a new offering for other poker runs. You know, you already got the helis there.
I think that part of what we bring will be like a continued expansion, like you said, of what are different things that we can accomplish for the people that are coming to provide value.
Yeah.
Coming not even from us, but just from the event itself. You know, like working with Matt, we've done so many of these videos now. We could give him suggestions, and he was very open to any of that. You know, he was asking me things at the end of each day, like, how is this? Would we change this? What do you think? So I like that we've got a little skin in the game to be like almost like a credible source of, yeah, that part was cool. This part was, or maybe you should think about it like this run. You know, I mean, how many have we been to at this point? And I know there's people that have been to way more than we have. I mean, shit, Matt went to like 11 in his first year, but you know, to be as ingrained as we have.
Right.
In
We're
each of
in the
these.
conversations with the people putting on the events.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more intricate for us than just participating.
Mm-hmm. You see a lot of the work that goes on.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of work.
And that's where the ideas go, right? When you're talking to the people that are putting it on and they're like, hey, what if we do this? What if we do that? Then you have that conversation over 5, 6, 10 poker runs. You've got a pretty good knowledge base on like what you can and can't do with the events.
Yeah. So come to us, resident poker run experts.
Yeah.
We can give you a few
Bob
ideas.
loves poker runs.
I love flying in the helicopter. Hire me. I will come.
Well, something else that happened while I was out was another in the lead shoot. It's been a little while since we did one of those, but Shawn Steinert, the head of the rescue team for the boat racing, was the subject for this shoot. Matt Trulio gathered up some funds to kind of kick off another one of these for us. And we took a bit of a different approach with it, something that we did with you a few years ago, in kind of just throwing you at it and saying, like, here's your project. Like, this is the first story-based project that you're going to do. And we did that with Christian.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you think that's going so far? How did the shoot go? You know, just tell me a little bit about it, because I wasn't a part of, you know, those initial conversations and the shoot itself.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about Christian on the other side of this wall right here, probably listening to this conversation as he's working on the edit. So I would say all good things. You know, the shoot itself went well. We didn't have it's tough because like I was able to get in the helicopter for one run. Let me put it that way. But other than that, like you're
like
kind
one
of
race,
one race. Yeah. Well, it was 2 races, but you know, one refueling
Who
essentially.
were you in the helicopter with?
I got in with Shawn and his team.
Okay. So you were filming the safety crew in their helicopter as they were circling.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So like outside of that though, we're seeing what a lot of people are already seeing, which is just like, you know, they're doing the dunker testing, or we're getting the perspective of watching them fly around. You know, Christian was on a safety boat, which is a whole separate story in itself that I will tell. But
that sounds good.
It's pretty funny. So to cram all of that into the 2 days, or I guess the 3 days that we had, we got as much as we could. It's just kind of limited because what they do is so like specific and important, and like it's hard. Like even when I flew with them, it was for one of the. It was like for testing. And I'm like crammed in the middle seat, and I've got like a really, you know, wide lens, and I'm trying to like film. So it's like a cool perspective. But if something were to happen, you don't want me sitting in that helicopter just like taking up space. So we used a lot of action cameras to get all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, outside of that, the interviews went really well. We found like a sweet location in an airplane hangar. That was fun for me because similar to like me following you around and understanding like how do you conduct yourself on these shoots, how do you push a little bit further to get like the best that you can out of people or out of locations and stuff like that. Christian got to see a little bit of that, where like they're like, what do you think about the pilot lounge? Terrible. It was like this big, terrible lighting.
Yeah.
I'm like, do we have anything outside, a hangar or anything like that? And they're like, oh, we have a corporate hangar. Let's go see if we can make that work. So they took a golf cart and took us over there, and they just opened up this huge hangar, giant American flag in the background. There's like a polished plane in there. And I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is it. But like, had I not been a little bit annoying about it and been like, is there anything else that we could do? We would have never seen that.
Yeah.
And who knows what we would have used for a shoot. So
that's great to hear.
Similar to like me following you around and like throwing me into the fire with these things, you kind of have to like, you have to be okay with potentially, you know, like pushing a little bit too hard or a little too far, even with like your questions if you're conducting an interview. Mm-hmm. But if you put in the right amount of groundwork early on and like introducing yourself and just being present and being kind in yourself, like people are a little bit more like willing to either give you information if you're interviewing them or help you out if you need help with a set or whatever. So everyone that we ran into down there was very accommodating. Shawn's team was great. They were happy to have us. You know, Shawn was very stoked about the idea of the video. So he was, you know, whatever you need, let me know where I need to send my guys to do the interviews. We'll get you as much access as we can get you, that sort of thing.
Nice.
The story about Christian on the boat, which again, I'm thinking like if he's listening to this right now, he's probably like, why do you have to tell that? But he went out on the boat, and I will say it was a really rough day out there, and he's on like a little center console, and he's with the safety guys, but he was out there for, I don't even know, probably 4 or 5 hours.
Really?
I mean, it was the duration of all of the testing that day. This was day one and some races too.
Why'd you do that to him?
Well, I did not.
No, somebody had to go do it.
Yeah, but it was like, okay, he made the decision. I let him make the decision to put me in the helicopter and to run the action cameras, because it was basically like one of us is at the airport doing that, one of us is out on the boat getting what we can out there. But an hour in and you're just and Christian gets motion sickness in the car. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So he was probably an hour in, and like we're sitting by the helicopter, they haven't taken off yet, and we just hear like, hey, camera guy's not doing too hot. Like, this is over the radio that they're like communicating on. Like, does anybody got any like medication or something that we could get him? And like Christian was like, I told them specifically not to do that. Like, I'm fine. But
they wanted to.
Yeah, they just kept looking at him, and he's like getting more and more pale, and just kind of like, all of them were like, yeah, dude, we would take Dramamine before this for sure. Like, you don't know. You don't find those things out until you're in that situation.
Oh, I'm getting on a boat. Cool.
Yeah, like for him, I'm like, I'm sorry that I had never had to do that before, because I would have told you to take Dramamine. But that was new for all of us.
Yeah.
It's the same
That's why
way.
I just keep it in my bag.
Yeah, well, now we know.
Yeah.
Next time we go on a safety boat, take some freaking Dramamine, because he was out there.
Was he puking?
No, he held it in. He did okay. At one point, we were talking about airlifting him some meds. Like, we were looking at what we had on the helicopter, and they're like, we could dangle over it and just like drop some down. I'm like, oh, please, please take him some fucking Dramamine with a helicopter. That'd be so funny. But they ended up taking him over to the fireboat, and they had some, and he got taken care of. He was okay. But again, like, the team was very cool about it, and everybody, like, you could make, they like to joke, but then they're like, yeah, we've all been here. Like, you're not the first person this happened to. So it's like that, you jab him, but then you pick him up while he's down type of thing. And overall, hearing that over the radio, though, I'm just like, like, we've all been there.
Yeah,
we've all,
for sure.
I think often about your first in the lead shoot and getting food poisoning, and basically just, spending half your time in the bathroom, half your time filming.
Yeah,
basically.
or just pulling over on the side of the road.
And
opening up the door.
Somehow we end up back on that story quite often, but it's just
that's weird.
I think it's just the nature of the beast. Like, what we do, you're putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, in uncharted territory. So with that always comes these like good stories of failure, and then it's funny to look back and learn from it and laugh about it. So
I think anytime someone throws up or shits themselves or anything, it's a story. That's coming back out no matter what.
It's got to come out, and it's happened to everybody. So, you just own it. But overall, it was a good shoot.
Nice.
So this is Christian's first long form video that he's going to be working on. He did the Michigan Parkinson's video, but that one's like 5 minutes or something, 7 minutes. This one's 8 to 10, a little bit more script based.
More of a story.
Right.
I mean,
right.
that was a poker on.
It's an event video,
right?
Like a shorter event video. Yeah. So he's worked on the script. He worked on that with you, and then a little bit with me too. He conducted all the interviews while we were there. He kind of called most of the shots with shooting. That's one of those things too, where you're like, this is your video, so what's your vision? You tell me what you'd like me to be doing.
Yeah.
And then there's a little bit of, you step in and just know you need to take care of something just because we've been there before, but you try to put it in his hands as much as possible, the same way that you did with me. Mm-hmm. And he's been editing since we got back, really. And I think that's going well too. It's hard, man. It's a hard thing to do your first time around. You can plan all of these questions out, and you can think that you've got a script that's going to work. And then you go and you cut all these interviews up, and you're just like, I have so much stuff. And I think it's a skill that you earn over time, that ability to like look at all of it and see where you would move the pieces to have it be a continuously flowing story. That's like the hardest part, because you could be like, okay, I asked this, check that box, this box. Okay, now we're on to this. Like, as a list, it's not too tough to see it. But then when you start to see it, how am I going to make my way from this chapter to this chapter? And like, how does this one line of dialogue fit best within something that has nothing to do? Like, you see those things better the more experience you have. So I think it takes a long time your first way through. So laying the narrative, putting the music down, that type of thing, that's always going to be the hardest like step. And to do that for the first time is, I mean, so like before Christian left yesterday, we went back into the old in the leads that I worked on, and I'm like, let me show you the hours that I spent on this stuff, because he's like, yeah, I got to push stuff back. Like, I know it doesn't look great, but it's just, he's like at 19 hours in on that step. He planned for 3, which is, when I saw that, I laughed, and he knows that. Like, it was just, you'd think, but
yeah, you would think.
I show him some of mine. It's like 36 hours, like 45 hours. And like, I spent this time too. Like, I was in the trenches for a long time, and I'm like, this might not even be accurate. I might have I might have softened that up a little bit. It might have been even longer than that, but it's part of the game.
Yeah.
It's how you grow. So,
well, we know he's going to get it done because we're going to make sure that it gets done.
Yeah.
And it's getting published during the Key West races. So I guess kind of a bummer. We're not going to be there to like banter with everybody about the video getting released, but Matt Trulio thought it'd be cool to have it go out the Saturday before the final races. I couldn't agree more. I think having everybody down there will probably spark some in-person conversations, and hopefully everyone likes it.
Yeah, it reminds me of Supercat when like it would release and we'd be at the races and people would be like watching it that night or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we did that at
That
Key
was
West.
fun.
Yeah.
It's great to get in-person feedback rather than just like comments and texts and whatever, because it's better to talk to people in person.
People still ask me about it. Like at any of these shoots that we've gone to, they're like Shawn and his team, for example, they were like, you guys going to do any more of that? Like, it just embodied the sport so well. And I'm like, we didn't push super hard for it this year.
Kind of been heads down on other things. But if the opportunity's there and it makes sense, I would love to do another one of those. That was so much fun to create. Like, it was the most in-depth, longest, best production that Scrapyard's ever done. And I don't think there's anything close. So if we could do that again, that'd be awesome. But I don't know. We'll see.
If the time is right.
Yeah.
And the buy-in is there. And
it's got to be the right people too.
Yeah. We need to have like organizational buy-in, and we need to have access to pretty much whatever we need in order to make it happen. The amount of like asking for footage that we had to do last year, that you had to do, the digging around and stuff like that, it just adds to the level of stress that it takes.
And that's why I say we could have done it again this year, but I wasn't going to go through that again because it was just not enjoyable. And I didn't start this and do this to have not enjoyable projects. Like, I don't really care how much money we make. I want to enjoy what we're doing and be proud of what we make. So if somebody came and said, hey, we'll pay you a ton of money to come do this, but we need to, be right on you for everything and, whatever it is, I'm probably not going to do it.
Yeah, you've experienced that enough times to know what you're about to walk into, to be like, it's too stressful.
Yeah.
It's not a good stress. A good stress is like challenging yourself and telling something that you've never tried to tell before, or pushing the length of the video that you're able to edit. Not client-based stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the creative world, that's always the fight, is how much do you want to deal with a client versus how much do you want to just have the freedom to do whatever you want? Well, you take away the client, you take away the money. So that's kind of where you got to have a balance. And it kind of ties into the last thing that I wanted to talk about today, which is original Scrapyard content. And we're going to make a big push in that next year. And I don't know, I guess it comes from doing client work and not having full creative control to some degree, where this is very enticing, but it's a huge risk because the stuff that I have laid out for us next year to create does not have any money. Like, we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff, publishing it on Scrapyard's YouTube page, but not getting paid for it. And it's a very different business strategy than it has been. But I just don't see the point of doing all this and not making stuff that I want to see made.
Yeah, like you've got enough things on the table right now that you want to execute on, and we just haven't had the time or the resources. I mean, I'm excited to push for some of that stuff for sure.
Well, it's like scale back how much money you need. Don't pay yourself as much. Don't get new gear, whatever it is, wherever you can cut that back. And then take those hours that you would have had to use to make that money to do whatever it is that you want to do with the skills that you have and the equipment that you have. So if it's 50-50, what does that look like? 50% of our time, like we could make a lot with that. So I know right off the top, we're doing a 6-episode series on The Race Never Stops is what it's called. And it focuses on the life of Brandon Achatura, who passed away last year, a close friend of ours that worked at Sensation Powerboats. Kind of have one episode kind of in the works. Ryan Wank and I are doing the scripting and pre-production on that, and then that'll get filmed and released one episode every other month for next year. We've also got Danny Delecki in Snowcross. Been following him this will be the 2nd season, and I don't have the pre-production like fully outlined if that's going to be a long form video or another series that we're going to do, but that will be something else that lives on the Scrapyard channel. And then the third thing that I know that I want to do is help some local businesses around Fairhaven, our township area, and create some content around that too. So it's going to be a lot of work because these first 2 that I said there are like Supercat style. I mean, it's like an intense edit. It's a lot of work and no pay.
Yeah, the no pay part is the big part there.
Yeah, and it's not to say that it'll be like that forever because we could get sponsors to help pay us just to have their name on these things, but it would have to be under a very perfect circumstance for me to want to put a brand on any of these things because they're passion projects. They're stories that embody the things that I want out in the world. And I don't think it would have to be the right brand. They would have to have the right message. Like, you know what I mean? You're not just going to throw like, I don't know, give me a random brand.
A random brand? Well, you want a random brand that you don't align with?
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay, never mind. We're not going to do that. You get it. You know what I'm saying?
I know what
like
you mean.
it has to make sense.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to pull those off next year, to have some consistency to the Scrapyard YouTube channel. We were talking a little bit before we started recording. This podcast will be once a month now, and we're going to have a little bit more structure to it. Like in today's podcast, we talked about, we had topics that we thought of in advance, and we wanted to have a good conversation about those things. It's not just off the cuff. So I hope that you guys enjoy this. I hope that you watch it and share it because that's how eventually we could make money and pay for these types of pieces of content. But the first year that we're kind of taking a stab at it, it's going to be a little tight. Little tight.
Even with that, though, it's still like it goes back to just like it's not about money. Money is important. Money makes the world go
I'll
round.
remind you that.
Listen, okay. Me getting into this was me setting aside money.
I know. Me too.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't go into making videos and think that you're going to be like some filthy rich person. Like you're rich in the content that you make and the experiences that you have.
Yeah, your life is rich.
Not in the bank account.
Your life is rich, not you.
Yeah.
No, I like that though. Like I think it's true to our message, and it's what we tell ourselves constantly. We're not in this for the money. The money will come. If you find something that you like to do, the money should come secondarily. And so if we continue to push ourselves to do things like that, unfunded projects, I would love to believe that getting our full ability to make something that we actually want to make. It's not that we don't like to make what we make already.
No, we do.
But this is like an organic idea that we have complete creative control on. And almost the fact that it's not tied to money is almost exciting to me. That there's no one to answer to. You can really make this yourself. You can make this as much of yourself in that video as you want.
Well, the CTA of the video, the call to action of the video, is not to sell a product or to get someone to subscribe or whatever. It's Well, for the Brandon videos, it's to live your life to the fullest and to inspire people to find a path in their life that they love. And it goes right back to what we were talking about. There's no work-life balance. It's just life.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon was the type of person that just embodied that. He found something that he loved to do while he was working. And then he did that same thing after work too. Like he was a boat builder and then he would just build his own boats after work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a guy that just loved his life, didn't look at it as work. And that message going out in these videos is what I want to resonate with people, to like question themselves and say, hey, like, does it make sense for me to be living this way?
Mm-hmm.
Like there is another way to live. And like we were saying, in the US, it's just kind of clouded. It's like the marketing is so good in the US that you just want to make more money so you can buy more stuff and you can like level up your life and everything. Mm-hmm. And it's just not always about that. So maybe we can make some content that gets people thinking the other direction.
I like that. I do.
Nice. Well, I had one thing I wanted to end on, and I thought maybe we could end these podcasts on a nice little friendly debate.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Bobby tells me the other day that he's going through and deleting all of his unwanted emails in his inbox. And I go, you're doing what? You're deleting your emails?
I don't even understand how this is a debate.
I've talked to a few people. I'm not going to exaggerate. I talked to 2 people. Okay.
I see this is really stuck with you.
Oh, yeah. I can't get over it. Okay. So we're binning emails and we're deleting emails. The whole thing started because you needed some emails.
Pay stubs.
Okay. I was going to say it, but you wanted your pay stubs. You had deleted the emails where they all come through. We don't have a portal at Scrapyard with like your pay stubs.
I've been paid.
I just emailed him.
Yeah, Katie hands me a check. That's how I get paid.
Yeah, we're working on the ACH. We're getting pretty close.
Yeah, we're going to join the 20th century here in a second.
Regardless.
Yeah.
You're deleting your emails. So I need to hear the reasoning behind this. And then I think we're going to leave it for anybody that made it this far on the podcast. Thank you. But I want you guys to weigh in and say, like, is this acceptable behavior?
Okay. So I frequently check my emails. If it's something that's garbage, I delete it, I trash it. And if it's something that I think I might need, I archive it. And so my inbox is
What does archive it mean?
Archiving just takes it out of any of your inbox folders and it just sets it stores it. It's still there. So when I go use the search bar, it'll still come up, but it'll come up as archived. So when I go into my inbox, it's very clear like things that I need to get done still. So I'll have like 4 emails in my inbox. And if they're still there, that means it's like an executable action. So it could be like, oh, this email had a video in it that I wanted to watch. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm going to leave it there so I'm reminded. Or here's my weekly Outlook email that I use often to reference like my duties for the week. It could be an order that I placed that's not delivered yet. I'll leave that there so I know that I'm still tracking it. Everything else, spam, all that, I go through, I delete it. And yeah, that's my argument. It's nice and clean. I use it as like an action item list. And I just don't like having thousands of emails.
Okay. All right. Question for you then.
Okay.
When you delete the spam email,
mm-hmm.
do you unsubscribe from that email?
I have been, yes.
Because that would solve the problem.
You'd think, dude. You'd think. They get around it. Dude.
I understand.
In my personal email.
But at least you're doing that.
I try.
Because I can get on board with unsubscribing.
I try to do that. In my personal email, I would at one point just deleted everything. And I was like, I don't care if I lose anything. Nothing in my life is going to change that drastically if I just get rid of this. It reminds me of when Brian came back to Enterprise from vacation and he literally just deleted his inbox. He was like, if anybody needs anything that importantly, they'll just reach out to me again.
Wow, what a move.
Dude, it was like, I couldn't believe it.
That probably blew your mind.
Oh, I was so jealous of that idea of just like, yeah, never mind, who cares? But I did that with my personal email, and then they start to flow in again, very quickly. Here comes all the spam, and I go through and I unsubscribe, and sometimes it's too many, so I just delete them all again. Mm-hmm. I've unsubscribed from a lot of email lists, and I still get 20 spam emails a day. It's crazy. The data that's being sold.
Yeah.
It's almost like makes me want to freak out thinking about it. But
all right. So the question here is it acceptable to archive, delete, and bin emails? Or are you supposed to just leave that inbox the way that it is?
Yeah, why don't you paint the perspective of how your inbox looks?
My inbox looks very clean,
No, it doesn't.
but it's full. I open every email, so they're all read. If they're unread, that's like how you're using it, like they exist in the inbox. So if I read an email and it has an action in it, I'll mark it as unread, even though I read it, so that it stays there.
But then that could be 50 emails down
Hell
eventually.
no. It's 1 to 5 at the. Honestly, it's doesn't even exist.
Okay.
When I get an email, I'm addressing it like instantly.
Yeah.
I don't get many emails that are like, oh, I need to do this thing on the email, which makes it hard for me to understand where your actionable emails are coming from.
Well, that's why there's like 2 in my inbox. There's not.
You're just like leaving them there.
Yeah, there's just not a lot.
Well, just do it.
There's 2 to 5. Yeah, but like if it's something stupid, like I'll get an Adobe email that has a video in it that I want to watch.
Oh, okay. I see.
I'll leave that
It's
there.
not like a client.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
like,
those I don't even.
no, but then also like if it's a client thing and I respond to it, but I know that thread is going to keep going.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I responded to this email. I'm waiting for something back from them. I'll leave that there too.
Yeah.
Because then I'll know, okay, I need to follow up on this.
This method probably worked really well for Kraft Heinz because they just didn't have any info left on you. You just deleted all the emails.
Oh no, they found everything. When I went to that, like the emails that they were pulling up, I'm just like, you
You're
guys.
like, damn it, I deleted that 3 times.
It's not like I did anything crazy. You know, I didn't like manipulate the stockholders or anything stupid like that. But I'm sure that I sent a couple like offhand emails that were like, man, this meeting sucks. Or like, wow, this guy's super annoying. And they could just go find that if they wanted to. It was a real, like when they pulled up some of my old emails, I'm like, you guys have everything. But that's okay. I'm gone. You can't fire me.
Yeah,
and also, I didn't do anything fireable.
Plus, you're not there.
I'm innocent.
All right. So, should you delete emails or not? That's the question. Let us know.
If you say no, I will find you.